Hi everyone, it's Di here with Diane and welcome to Wowza Wednesday for June 2025. If you're new to my channel, Wowza Wednesday is the middle Wednesday of each month. I do a project. I try to keep it a bit more simple than some of my others. Not always works that way, but that's what happens. So it's one Wednesday in every month. So, today I'm going to do a project called a scene card. Now I saw this done on Pinterest. There wasn't any name, there wasn't a link or anything. I just couldn't find anything much about it. So I decided I'd have a go at this, and this is what I came up with, because I'd seen it done and it was shown standing up like this, and it was shown so that you could see that there was blanks on the inside as well. Okay, so this is the card we're going to be making, and I love this. We're going to be using new products, so let's pop them out the way and I'll show you what we're going to be using. Let's move them up there. So I've done all the stamping, but we would stamp in Secret Sea, which is a very dark grey blue colour. And I'm using this beautiful gallery 6x6 paper because this has scenes on it. Some of these papers have scenes on it, like this one, which is what we're going to be using. So I've got it upside down, but sorry. Like sceneries like this one, and there's 4 of each. That one always looks like wallpaper to me, but not one of my favourites. That's a lovely one with the roses on it. So, and then you've got a picture like so, and then a nice blue scenery picture, and on the back of that one you've got like a trees. Some of them have got pictures on both sides, some of them don't. And that's a nice, another scenic one. But you could do with any scenery card, any paper that has like a scene on it that you really like. See, that's the one I did with this one. So that's what we're going to be using, but you can use 12x12 that has got, you know, the paper that has the 2 sections the same, and just cut it into the 4 and keep the 2 the same. So, but that's the picture of that one there. So we're going to be doing this picture. I'm going to be doing this one, so I've got 2 sheets of it because you're going to need 2. So, but before we get to that, I'm going to be using the gallery blooms that go with the paper, and because I'm going to use this flower here, and I'm using an old set because I like the best wishes on this one. So I've got the happy birthday and the best wishes, which I've already done. I'm also going to be using the Whisper White ink and a blender pen. So we're going to do a bit of that together. And I've got the in colour flat pearls, which are the 2025-27 ones. So we're going to be using those as well. So let me show you what you need. Now the best way to do this card, even though in my instruction sheet I have written the sizes that you cut, it is better to start with a 6x6 and cut it down afterwards. So, and I've done half of the colouring, so we'll do the rest of it together. Okay, so you're going to need a piece of card that measures 11 inches by 5 7/8 of an inch. And you're going to need 2 pieces of 6x6 with the same picture on them to cut to what you need. Then you're going to need 2 pieces of card to go do the in-between size. So I'm using the basic grey and smoky slate, and these measure 5 3/4 by 1 5/8. So you've got 2 of those, and then you'll need a piece for your writing panel on the back. Now I've done it in the grey so that it matches. You could do it in white if you wanted, but this measures 5 3/4 by 3 7/8. And then your tag, whichever size you're doing. My tag is 1 5/8 by 1 1/8. So that's my tag, but anything that you wish to do. So we will go through this. I will colour this one with you because this is a fairly simple card other than that. So let's pop all those pieces up there, and let's bring in our score scoreboard and find my scoring tool. There it is. And we're going to score this on the long side. I'll have to bring this down here because I can't see that far up there today. It's been really weird time at the moment for me. So we're going to score this on the long side at 1 3/4 of an inch using the small ball. So make sure we got it up in the corner, 1 3/4 of an inch. Then we're going to score this at 3 1/2. And 5 1/4. And 7 inches. Now also, if you're new to my channel and you'd like the written tutorial, you just head over to Di's Den for Stamping, Crafting and Tutorials. You will find the tutorial there. It's written in inches, but it does have the centimetres there, so if you prefer the metric sizes. So let's go through it again. 1 3/4, 3 1/2, 5 1/4 and 7 inches. And that's all the scoring we're going to do. Okay, so we're going to move the scoreboard out of the way and we're going to put that straight, and we're going to start at the 7-inch line and we're going to fold that as a valley fold, making sure that it's nice and flush on both sides. And then we're going to fold the next one back to make a mountain fold, and then forward for another valley fold, and then back to make another mountain fold. So you can fold it from this end, but I just find that it seems to fold better if you do it from the other end. So I can then go over these other ones again, like so. So that is our main card, like so. So what we're going to do first is we're going to bring in our 2 pieces of designer series paper that are exactly the same, and we need these to be 5 3/4 inches long. So by having them at the 6-inch mark, you can work out whether you want to take that 3/4 of an inch, that 1/4 of an inch off the bottom of or the top of your picture. Whichever you do, you need to do that on both of them. So let me bring in my trimmer, and I'm going to take it off the bottom of my picture. So I'm going to make this 5 3/4 of an inch. Like so, and cut just that tiny bit off the bottom. I'm going to do exactly the same with this one. So this is going to be 5 3/4, and we're going to take that tiny bit off the bottom there. So those 2 bits there, they can go in the rubbish bin. Okay, so we're going to start. It doesn't matter which one you start with because the pictures are identical, and just double check that they are by doing this, so that just in case you did cut them a little bit different to the other. So we're going to start with one of them, and we're going to turn it upside down because we want to cut 3 7/8 from the right hand side. So this left hand side of the picture, right hand side of the picture. So we want to cut 3 7/8 in from that side of the picture because we want that piece. We don't want this piece. So that piece there we don't want, but we want this one. So that's 3 7/8 in from the right hand side. Okay, with our other piece we are going to cut 1 5/8 of an inch from the left hand side. So we want that one. And then we're going to swoop it over and cut 1 5/8 of an inch once again from the left hand side. So our picture pieces look like this, and this piece almost goes over the top. It's a little bit over there, like so, but because of the fold of the paper, it looks like it all matches up. So these pieces here are good to be used for another picture or another part of a card if you only wanted a half of them. So we'll pop those on one side because we can reuse them, and that's all our cutting done. So we're going to bring in our main card, We're going to lay this flat now, and we have our two other pieces that go in between, which measure 5 3/4 by 1 5/8 of an inch as well. Now they're going to go on the second and the fourth piece, like so. Now this has very, very small margins either side, so we don't need to, we're not putting any layers on, only this one layer. So we're going to pop this one on our card, like, why is that moving around? Like so. And we'll do the other one the same in this spot here. Okie dokie, so we've got those in like so. So now we're going to put our pictures on. So we're going to put the 3 7/8 one is going to go on this back piece here. So we can glue that one on. My glue doesn't look like it's coming out very well. It's been rather cold of late, but it is coming out. It's just the colour of the paper. Okay, so let's pop this one onto here. Trying to match these all up across the top and keeping it nice and even all the way around, like so. Okay, I'm going to have to put the glue dots under that one. So we have our other two pieces. Now we know that that one's going to go there, which is the first left hand cut, and that's the second left hand cut there. So we're going to pop those and glue those into place like so. And this one in here. Once we're happy with them, give them a nice squish down as well. And see, as the picture is closed like this and opened a little bit, you will see that it looks like it all carries on from each other, which is what the whole idea of the picture is. So before we put our little tag on the front, we're going to do our back. Now I've already stamped this. I stamped the happy birthday and I stamped that flower on both sides, and I've already coloured one, but so we're going to colour the other one. And I've got here Mossy Meadow light and dark, and I have Daffodil Delight dark, and my white ink, my blender pen, and a small block. So we're going to start with the light Mossy Meadow, and I'm using the small tip because it's easier to colour in between these. I'm going to colour all the leaves completely. It's not a real lot to colour in on these, but it just takes that blankness off of it. But as I say, you can do this with any colour on the back. I just found that for me, I wanted it to match in, and so I've done it the same on both of mine. I will show the others after I've finished colouring in here. Okay, so I've done all my leaves with the light, and now I'm bringing the dark, and once again I'm going to be using the small side So I'm just going over the white, the black bits, or in this case that was the Secret Sea colour, just to give it a bit more depth. Like so. Okay, then I'm going to use my Dark Daffodil Delight, and I'm just using the normal tip just to put a bit of yellow into the centres of the flowers. Now with the other part of the flower, I'm just going to use my block and a little bit of this Whisper White ink, which I'm going to pop onto the block like so. And using my pen, now which end I've used before, this one, so I can wash them after. I'm just going to dip it into the white ink, and I'm going to just paint over where the petals are. And it does dry pretty quickly, so once I've done one flower, we'll go on to the other flower. And this will make them look very similar to the flowers on the front of this, in this case. Now I stamped this before I did the rest. That gives the Secret Sea ink a time to really dry before I paint it over the top of it, so that it doesn't bleed. Okay, that's once, and then I went over them all again just to give them extra depth. So I started back at the beginning again. So you don't need a real lot of ink. And you could do this with a paintbrush if you don't have one of these pens, these blender pens. But these pens come in a pack of 3, so that's all the way around I've been. Okay, so that's my flower done on this side. This one's already done and dried, so I'm going to wipe that off of there and pop my lid back on that so it doesn't go funny. And this is now ready to go onto the front, at the back of the card. So we're going to open the card up. We want to make sure we've got it up the correct way, so we'll just make sure we've got it up the correct way. And we're going to pop a bit of glue onto the back of this piece. And glue this onto the back of the card. This is our writing panel. Now I'm going to squish from this side just so that if the ink is tiny bit dry, wet, it doesn't smudge it across. And that's the back of the card. I think just that on its own is actually quite pretty. It's very pretty in those greys with the white on there. So that's our card. We're going to pop this onto the front now. I'm getting annoyed with that, keep jumping around like that. Okay. Come here, you. I'll pop some dimensionals onto the back of this. And I'm going to put mine up in the top corner, or should I put it in the bottom corner? I think I'm going to put it up in the top corner, like so. But before you put it on there, close that over just so that you don't have it underneath there. So if you've got a bigger sentiment there, you don't want it under there unless you really have to, because when I did this one, I did it like this, and all I did was corner round 2 corners. When I did this one, this was my first one, the Best Wishes was way too big. You can't see it when the card is closed, only when it's open, like so. So, not that that's a problem, but we will now put on our embellishments. So I'm going to use the Secret Sea ones. So I'm going to pop one just here and a little one on the edge, and then the medium size one I'm going to just pop down here. Okay, so that's our card for our Wowza Wednesday. What do you think? It's actually a really lovely card. It sits up nicely. Let me move that back there. That's really annoying me. It sits up nicely, and when it's sitting there like this, that's how it would look on a countertop. So it looks like the picture flows all the way through, and I just think that it's gorgeous, easy. You could stamp down this section if you wanted to. So that's the other one. That's that flower, and that one I did the same flower on the back. I did that. This is cloud cover, but I didn't have my stamping blends in the cloud cover. I haven't ordered them yet, so I used Balmy Blue. As you can see, it is very, very similar in colour once it's coloured on top of that colour, but it's a lovely colour. And then this one I did with the basic beige. So we did basic beige on the back, and this was my very first one, so I didn't put anything else on the back. So I've done the 3 cards, all from the same paper. So this paper is the one that has the beautiful boats on it. This one has a lovely country scene on it. And this one, the bunch of flowers in a bowl. So that's my 3 cards. If you've enjoyed today's tutorial and you'd like the written tutorial for this, and it does explain here, I have written it here, how to cut this so that you know which side to cut from. So that's the best I could do with showing you how it's done. And this will have a photographs on it as well, but it also shows you how it goes together like so. So if you've never seen my tutorials before, that's how they are set out, with what you need, how many you need, the sizes in inches, then what you will need here, and then in centimetres, and this will give you that where to score in inches and centimetres. So I hope that you've enjoyed that. If you'd like that written tutorial, head down below here to Die Stand for Stamping, Crafting and Tutorials. We'd love to see you there. Just please answer the question, otherwise you won't be allowed to join the group. And we will see you again on Sunday with another video. So there you go. So bye for now.